Welcome to Arlington Update. I'm Cheryl Carpenter. This month, Arlington Update welcomes new City Planning Director Jim Parajan. He's leading a city department whose mission is economic development and safe construction in our city. Later in our show, we'll take you to the construction of the new Cowboy Stadium, and we'll move to South Arlington to tell you what's new at the Arlington Municipal Airport. But first, it's a new budget year for the City of Arlington. The Arlington City Council has approved an operating budget for fiscal year 2007. City officials say the $344 million spending plan prepares Arlington for the future. The new budget funds many community priorities without a property tax increase. The property tax rate remains at 64.8 cents per $100 of assessed value. City Council priorities funded in the fiscal year 2007 budget include the following. This month, Arlington Update is pleased to introduce new Community Development and Planning Director Jim Parajan. He brings to the City of Arlington more than 18 years of progressive planning experience.
I'm Jim Parajan. I'm the new Community Development and Planning Director for the City of Arlington. I've been with the city since May 1st. I've very much enjoyed my time here thus far, and recently have moved from Raleigh, North Carolina, where I was the Assistant Planning Director. I've been a professional planner for about 20 years, about half of that time spent in the private sector and the other half in the public sector. And very much am looking forward to the challenges the city's offering. Well, I spent most of my first few weeks listening, learning about how the City of Arlington does business, meeting with councilors, the city manager and the management staff, my department staff, as well as business leaders and residents, really trying to absorb as much of the perspectives that they offer as possible so I can make some observations and reflect the City of Arlington's council priorities. The City of Arlington is blessed with tremendous opportunity. It's ideally situated between Fort Worth and Dallas. Its location is ideal for both business and residents. It's got some great opportunities as it relates to the entertainment venues that we have, including the new Cowboy Stadium. We really want to build on those opportunities from a business perspective. We also want to enhance the quality of life for our residents by doing such master planning as what's going to occur in the Tierra Verde area. The Tierra Verde area is in the southwest portion of the City of Arlington, and there's a beautiful golf course, award-winning golf course down there, the Tierra Verde Golf Course. And there's also some vacant rural land down there, and we are master planning that area, working with residents and business owners and property owners to identify the best way to develop that property over the future and preserve its natural character. As you may know, the City of Arlington is undertaking a One Start project right now where it's intended to move all of the development work that we do under a singular entity with a singular voice. That's a key initiative of the council, and we're looking forward to implementing that as quickly as possible. My management style is really built on a couple things. One is communication, the second one is accountability, and the third is responsibility. And that's what my department will look to achieve over the near future, is to make sure that we focus on communication, both with residents, businesses, internal and external staff. We will also work on accountability, taking ownership of issues as we understand them, and as well as being accountable for how we do business, and making this a very good place to reside and operate a business. And we're very much looking forward to achieving that goal.
Learn more about this City of Arlington department. Visit our website and click on Community Development and Planning. This summer, concrete retaining walls went up in the project area of the Cowboy Stadium. Contractors moved more than 1 million cubic yards of dirt, going 5 stories below the ground to establish the playing field or bowl of the stadium. Stay connected. Quarterly updates from the Cowboy Stadium construction site are available on the City of Arlington website. Visit the web and click on Stadium Scoreboard. In this next segment, Arlington Update takes a look at what it means to reinvigorate neighborhoods. New Neighborhood Coordinator Regina Blair leads Arlington's Strong Neighborhood Initiative. What is the Neighborhood Summit and why is it important for Arlington?
The Neighborhood Summit is a one-day event, the first in the City of Arlington, and it is the convening of citizens, elected officials, community leaders, and faith-based organization and service providers to learn about Arlington's Strong Neighborhood Initiative, strategic components, and recommendations resulting from the focus group discussions. The summit is important because input and exchange of information from citizens will significantly influence decisions related to the initiative's priorities in terms of neighborhood revitalization.
What can Arlington residents expect to do and see at the Neighborhood Summit?
Residents and stakeholders can expect to learn about City Council priorities, citywide initiatives, and programs available throughout the Arlington community. There will be 4 modules focused on civic engagement. After completing those modules, citizens will be asked to move from words to action and get involved with reinvigorating Arlington's neighborhoods by committing to participating in various training programs and citywide events.
Tell us about just one of those modules.
Well, one of those modules is titled Working Together to Make Arlington Better. And that module will be required for all attendees, and it will focus on presenting to citizens some of the citywide initiatives that are focused on economic development. There will be an opportunity for citizens to understand our form of government and then also to become familiar with our City Council priorities.
How can residents get involved in the summit?
To get involved in the summit, additional information, and to register online, citizens can visit www.ci.arlington.tx.us/ASNI and complete and return the registration by Friday, October the 27th. They can also contact me personally at 817-459-6104.
Tell us what your role is as the neighborhood coordinator.
My role as Arlington's neighborhood coordinator is to help realize council's priorities of reinvigorating neighborhoods and to develop these strategies that will focus on civic engagement and reintroducing the Neighborhood Academy. Priority and attention will be given to assisted neighborhoods with organizing and leveraging resources which promote sustainability that help make Arlington a better place to live, learn, work, and play.
A new season is upon us. Daylight savings time ends at 2 a.m. Sunday, October 29th. The Arlington Fire Department reminds you to change batteries and smoke detectors when you're resetting your clocks. Working smoke detectors save lives. And if trick-or-treating is a fun tradition in your neighborhood, the Arlington Police Department encourages you to play it safe this Halloween. Consider attending a carnival or a haunted house as an alternative to trick-or-treating. When trick-or-treating, travel in groups and carry flashlights. Children should always be accompanied by an adult. Face the traffic when walking on streets. Carefully plan trick-or-treat routes to avoid having to repeatedly cross the street. Stop only at familiar homes where the outside lights are turned on. Never allow a child to enter a car or residence. Check all treats in a well-lit area before allowing children to eat them. Immediately discard suspicious candy or items. Select bright costumes or decorate with reflective tape to increase your visibility at night. Purchase flame-resistant costumes, masks, beards, and wigs. To prevent trips and falls, keep your costumes short and avoid ill-fitting shoes. Try makeup instead of a mask. If a mask is worn, make certain the eye holes are large enough for full vision. From the baseball field to the classroom, CPR is everywhere An Arlington update was at Bowles Junior High School, where more than 400 students were taught the life-saving skill of CPR.
We are very excited to have been chosen to be the first school to participate in the CPR Arlington initiative, CPR Anytime. Our school motto is Bowles, where the best begins. So we certainly believe that we can give your CPR program a great beginning.
There are a lot of times when you get told what to do, you have to follow directions, and you feel like, hey, when do I get my chance to be independent? So what we're talking about here is a chance for you to maybe save somebody's life. That's what this is all about. This is just so important. You're the first school that's involved in this. It's just an amazing opportunity for our community. And bottom line, you're going to learn something that could save somebody's life. Think about that. Think about the impact you could make.
But what you're going to learn today is that we really can't do it alone, that it isn't just about equipment, it isn't just about training, it isn't just about dedication. It's really all about time. It's really all about how quickly, in the event of a cardiac arrest, can someone get there and initiate life-saving CPR. And that's where every one of you can be heroes. We don't do it alone. We do it with you, and we do it because we've got some outstanding leaders here in our community. Leaders like your principal and superintendent, leaders like our mayor and council.
What you're going to experience today is something that is truly a gift. It's a gift of life. And as you learn the technique of how to save someone else's life, you never know when you're going to need that tool. You never know if you're going to be the one who's going to have the knowledge to save a family member or a perfect stranger. So I can't think of any greater challenge that faces you today than to learn how to save a life.
And that's where you come in. Because bystander CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, is absolutely key to preserving and restoring life. And I want you to promise me that after today, after you learn how to do CPR, it is absolutely simple. And if you pay attention for only 22 minutes, you yourself will be able to do CPR, and you yourself will have the opportunity sometime in your lifetime to save somebody's life. I've done it before. I have saved lives as a physician, and there is nothing better, no better feeling than to actually have somebody come back to life because of what you have done. So would you promise me that when you go home today and you'll have a kit with you, that you'll give it to your mom, your dad, and ask them to review it and to do it, and then every 6 months, refresh yourself, take it out again, and do it once again. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad we're here. I think you picked the right school. I can tell by the way you all are paying attention that we have a winner in this room. Thank you very much.
Learn CPR in your home, in your workplace. Visit the City of Arlington website for details. Tarrant County's two largest police departments have instituted a crime-fighting strategy that's working to capture would-be auto thieves. This next segment introduces a program that uses special cars as bait. The program's had a successful trial run in Fort Worth, and it was launched this summer in Arlington.
I think that the Auto Theft Task Force may be one of the really best kept secrets in law enforcement around here in Tarrant County. You hardly ever hear too much about them in the media. They kind of go about their work quietly and behind the scenes. And, you know, auto theft is one of those crimes that doesn't get a tremendous amount of media coverage. It's not real sexy. It's not something that a lot of people like to hear about or think about. But a lot of people think about it when they get their car stolen. And it's a very personal, traumatic time for people who suffer as victims of auto theft. Give you some brief statistics. In 2005, 7,374 vehicles worth more than $63 million were stolen in Tarrant County. So when people say that it's a nonviolent, victimless crime, remember that $63 million is a tremendous amount of loss for victims. We're here today to talk to you about a new program, a new initiative, and it's called the COBRA program, and that is the Covert Organized Bait Recovery and Apprehension Program. And what this is simply is specially designed, specially rigged cars that are actually set out as bait cars. They are controlled externally by a computer, and they're set up with cameras and video, and you're going to get to see that. And what it is basically putting cars on the street that look like regular cars. They're not normal cars, as you will see. They're equipped with a lot of really amazing features that you're going to get to look at. What they do is they want those cars to be stolen from externally. They then can control turning the vehicle off. They can control rolling up the windows, locking the doors. It makes apprehension very easy, and it makes prosecution very easy because of the video capability that all the cars have.
This is a very important program for Arlington and Arlington residents as well, because just like other Metroplex cities, we have a higher incidence of auto theft than what we like to see. And it takes programs like this and work with the Auto Theft Task Force and Sergeant Walt West and our Sergeant Jerry Hathaway and our other Metroplex partners to really help combat these incidences of auto theft. Since we deployed our program here in Arlington, we've noticed and achieved 5 arrests for theft of a motor vehicle, but 4 additional arrests for other charges. And so we're experiencing not only arrest of motor vehicle theft suspects, but we're seeing other people burglarize vehicles and be arrested in those cars as well. These short video clips depict how serious these departments and agencies are about combating auto theft. We can't in Arlington do it alone, but we're thankful to have partners like you see standing here, Fort Worth PD and the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office to assist us in this effort. This program enables officers to apprehend suspects for other offenses as well as vehicle thefts. Vehicle thefts cost our citizens millions of dollars, and also it costs our citizens time and effort in repairing and replacing their stolen cars, and it increases the amount of auto insurance payments our drivers have to make. But by partnering with our friends and other agencies to use bait vehicles here in Arlington, we have another tool that will allow officers to take criminals off the street. So we'll continue to do everything within our power to keep our citizens and their property safe and secure. And we'll continue to look for new and innovative ways to accomplish this mission while working with our partners throughout the county and the Metroplex.
The City of Arlington invites you to join in Partnerships for Arlington. As an Arlington resident, you now have the opportunity to conveniently support up to 6 different programs through your monthly water bill. These include the beautification of parks and street medians, construction of a new animal services center, enrichment of our libraries, collections, materials, and resources, providing children with after-school athletic programs, enhancements citywide through public art, and the Care and Share program to assist others in need. To participate in any of these programs, simply fill out the Partnerships for Arlington section of your monthly water bill. This tax-deductible donation focuses right here on our community. Together, we can partner for a better future.
The Arlington Municipal Airport is well on its way to becoming more attractive as a corporate airport of choice. This month, the city celebrated the opening of a new control tower, and Arlington Update was there.
This is a very, very special day for Arlington. We've been trying for a long time to get this structure constructed. I would say much longer than since 1999. Les Carthen said we've been trying for 30 years. Is that correct? 34, I'm sorry, 34 years. Yeah, we never could get it done. And you know why we couldn't get it done? Because we never found the right person to help us do it until 2 years ago. And we went to Washington, and Congressman Barton said, yes, we'll make that happen. That was after about a 20-minute visit with him. I think he knew that we were going to ask him for those funds. And sure enough, 2 years later, living up to his promise, we now have this structure.
It is a huge step, and as it should be, safety is the #1 reason this was built. But as has been mentioned already, it plays a great role in economic development. For those of you who might not fly, you might not be aware that most of the major Fortune 500 companies that operate aircraft, they do not want to go into airports that don't have air traffic control towers. It's a safety thing with them, and it's company policy. They just tend not to do that. So this is a major step forward for you. With the length of the runway now and the ILS, which I guess is going in next year, and this tower, I think the future is really very bright for this airport.
The tower is 9 stories tall. It is 119 foot at eye level whenever you're in the cab looking out of the tower, so it's quite a sizable tower, and it's fully equipped with state-of-the-art equipment such as the radios and the recorders that are necessary to go along with a control tower.
Okay, and what about future plans for development out here at the airport?
We have several things that we're doing in the next few months, actually. We're putting in an instrument landing system so aircraft can land safely during inclement weather. We're also going through a major pavement rehab project, and we're going to be taking some of our old pavement, replacing it with new concrete and heavier strength aircraft in anticipation for the larger aircraft that will be coming in.
This is going to be a great addition for us. The airport traffic has grown tremendously, primarily because of our location, and this is going to help with not only the air traffic safety, but also economic development for the airport. The entire west side of the airport, I think in years ahead, is going to see a lot of commercial development because with this tower and the new ILS system we're going to put in, this is going to be a perfect location for corporate jets. We're in an ideal situation, and this is going to be great for the city of Arlington.
Congressman Barton, you were instrumental in bringing this air traffic control tower to Arlington. Can you tell us a little bit about your involvement in the project?
Well, I worked with the city officials, the mayor and the city council, and I also worked with the state of Texas and the FAA officials just to make sure that in the appropriation process in Washington that we put a special provision in, which we call earmarks, to make sure there was funding for this project, although it went through the Texas Department of Transportation. So I was able to serve as the point person in D.C. for a team of people down here that have been working on this project very, very hard for a number of years.
This year, Arlington continues to celebrate its first 130 years. This next segment takes us back in time to the early 1800s when Arlington was born.
The Trinity River is where it all began. The presence of the river, its several tributaries, and the varied natural environment was inviting to the various populations that have inhabited the area for thousands of years. Human activity in the Trinity River Basin is reported to date to the Stone Age. Records indicate a 17th century expedition of the Frenchman La Salle probably brought the first Europeans into the Trinity River Basin, but it was the 1838 expedition led by Robert Sloan and Nathaniel T. Journey into present-day Euless and Arlington that was recorded as one of the first Anglo-American efforts to open the area to settlement. Prior to actual settlement in the Arlington area, one of the largest Native American enclaves in the region had been established along Village Creek, now called Cato Creek, located on the western edge of present-day Arlington. There were a series of Indian villages on either side of the creek which extended 7 miles southward from the Trinity River. The 1841 Battle of Village Creek was considered a victory at the time, even though it cost the lives of many Indians. This campaign was led by General Edward H. Tarrant. He later became the namesake of Tarrant County. John Denton was aide to General Tarrant and the only fatality among Tarrant's men. Denton County was named for him. The battle had a great effect on the Indians of Village Creek, most of whom left the Arlington area. The same year, Captain Jonathan Byrd established Byrd's Fort on the far north side of present-day Arlington. It was one of the earliest attempts at Anglo-American settlement in North Texas. Indian raids and hardships led to the abandonment of Byrd's Fort after a short time. On September 29, 1843, several Indian tribes signed a treaty of peace and friendship with the Republic of Texas at Bird's Fort. The Indian chiefs from 9 tribes signed the treaty. The Bird's Fort Treaty opened the door to settlement in the entire region. The first trading post authorized by the treaty was at Marrowbone Spring, and settlers from Bird's Fort joined John Neely Bryan to found Dallas in 1842. 6 years after Dallas was founded, Colonel Middleton Tate Johnson's company of Texas Rangers was assigned to Kaufman Station, later named the Marrowbone Spring Post. There, Colonel Johnson decided to settle here permanently. The land he had been granted when he immigrated to Texas was located nearby. The station soon became known as Johnson Station, as did the community that grew around it. Colonel Johnson established a grist mill, sorghum mill, blacksmith shop, slave quarters, and a general merchandise store. He also built a large 4-section barn. The Star Mail route and truck stagecoach line passed through Johnson Station, connecting it with other major stage routes. Johnson Creek, a major tributary of the Trinity River, was named for Colonel Johnson. Prior to coming to the Johnson Station area and before becoming a Texas Ranger, Johnson served in the 9th and last Congress of the Republic of Texas. During his term, he took an active role in the Texas land policy, which established the Homestead Act, the location of the Capitol in Austin, and the annexation of Texas in the United States. After statehood, he had aspirations of being governor and bringing the railroad to Texas, but he was not able to accomplish that objective. Colonel Johnson died on May 12, 1866, 10 years before the railroad finally arrived. His body lay in state in the Capitol building in Austin, where he had been elected to the first constitutional convention of the state for Reconstruction just a few months earlier. He was buried in the state cemetery, but in 1870, his family moved his body to the family cemetery, located in South Arlington on Arkansas Lane. His likeness was engraved on the first official seal of Tarrant County, and he is remembered as the father of Tarrant County. Patrick A. Watson and a group of settlers arrived here in 1853 and settled on land that now borders the present Watson Road. In 1869, the Reverend Andrew Shannon Hyder arrived in this community, and in 1870, he organized the Good Hope Cumberland Presbyterian Church. The Reverend Hyder was also a land surveyor and was serving in that capacity when the Texas and Pacific Railway Company came through the area in 1876 and purchased the land for the original town site. The event was set into motion in 1871 when the United States Congress approved a charter for a transcontinental railroad, which included Texas. Because of his valuable assistance in directing the rail line through the most peaceable route, the engineers wanted to name the station Hyderville. The Reverend Hyder declined with the objection that his name was not usually pronounced correctly. They then gave him the privilege of choosing a name, and he named the town site Arlington in honor of General Robert E. Lee's home in Virginia. The naming of the town has also been attributed to James Ditto Sr., the first postmaster. Arlington was officially accepted by the Postal Service on January 22, 1877. Arlington History. The first 130 years continues. Be sure to watch Part 2, 1870 to 1900. The first railcar stops, a town is born.